Welcome to Text VB tutorial series. In this video, we are going to see how to create a registration form using VB6 and MS Access. For more details and source code, please mail me at www.techglobal@yahoo.com. Let us start. We have already created a registration form and a main screen and a login screen which is already covered in the last video and a flash screen. The main screen, we are just giving a create command for creating a registration table with the field names as registration ID and registration number which are integer field, student name, father name, mother name, phone number, date of birth which is a datum field, then class in which it is a student is admitted, address and remarks, and a field for photo field for storing the photo name. These are the fields. CON is the connection name which we already created in the last video. con.execute, the connection is a connection name, and we are executing the create table command for creating the registration table. And on the registration button, student registration button, we are loading the registration form. Here is the registration form in which we have a combo box for storing the modes here. The modes are add, modify, view and cancel. If the mode is add, the apply button will add a new record. If the mode is modify, the apply button will modify an existing record. And here is there is an image for loading the photos of the student, and a button for selecting the photo, add photo button for selecting the photo and loading it into the image box, and a label for storing the image name. And here the text boxes for storing the entering the student name, father name and mother name, phone number, etc. And a date of birth which is a date field, datum picker for selecting the date and date of birth. And here is the class in which he has admitted, that is a combo box for selecting the class, and address and mask text boxes, and 3 apply buttons. One is for saving and modifying the records, other one is for searching the records, and third one is for the closing the form. And on form load, we are loading the class names into a combo box, that is class CBO class combo box. First we are clearing the combo, then adding the class names in the combo box. And here we are calling a function for getting the max ID of the registration number and registration ID. On this function, we are passing the table name and field name, and we are getting back the max registration ID or registration number. This one is with the condition, and this function is without a condition. We are calling this function with while after passing the table name and field name here. So we will get back the max registration number or registration ID. So we'll go back here, and on the apply button, and first we will check whether the fields are empty or not, and like student name, class, phone number, etc. and date of birth, whether we will check that whether empty or it is. If it is empty, it will give the message and exit the function here. And we will start the beginning transaction, means we are starting a transaction, that is connection, new transaction here. And if the mode is add, we will add a record to the registration table with, first we will open the record set, then add the we will start adding the fields to the chart, adding the fields. Here are the fields, then we are comparing that fields the values. Here we are passing the max ID for the registration ID. Here we are passing the mass registration number, then student name, father name, mother name, phone number, date of birth, class, address, and lastly the photo. If the photo is available, we will pass the photo name here, the photo field. Then after that we will update the table with the update command, and we will close the record set with the close command. This is in the case of if it is in the add mode, and if it is in a modify mode, we will modify the existing record here on the update command and passing the parameters and updating the record set, and lastly we are closing the record set. Then at the last we are committing the transaction. If the transaction is completed, we will commit the transaction and give a message that the details are saved successfully. These are for the command button add or modify. And there is a search button here. On the search button we will populate a frame. This is a frame. On the frame we have a text box for searching the name and a search button, and after searching it, the records will be populated on the grid. On the project we are added a components like flex grid control and a common dialog control. This common dialog control is for the selecting the photos from the computer, and MS flex grid is for the flex grid. It's a flex grid control, and the common dialog we are having the common dialog control here. On the search button we are selecting the record from the registration table with the student name, like the search whatever criteria we are given, and we will open the record set and load that records into a grid form. The first column we are loading the student name, second column the class admitted, third father name, phone number, and registration ID. In the fifth column we are storing the registration ID, and the one click event of the registration of this grid, we will capture this registration ID and load the record back. Let us see the one click event of this one. First we are storing the registration ID in a ID variable, that is integer variable, and comparing that, selecting the record using the registration ID and load the data into a text boxes and combo boxes, whatever it is. And lastly we are loading the photo name here in the label photo is this one, and if the photo label photo, if the photo is available, we are loading the photo using the load image function. Here is the load image function. We will pass the photo name here, image name in the variable, and select that image from the images folder if the photo image is available, and that selected image will be loaded to the picture 1 picture box. Here it will load the picture 1 picture box, and it will load into the image box also. So these functions are already covered in the last video. So we will go back here, and we are seeing the search button, apply button, and close button, and searching of the records. Now we will run and see how the project running. Just run the project. Password A and username is A, which we are already created in the last video, and we are going to the registration form. The first registration create table we are create a, if the table is not existing, it will create a new registration table, and in the registration form we can add the registration number is generated automatically, and we can add the students names called name here, father name, mother name, and phone number, and select the date. You can select from this also, and select the class and address, and if you want to give any remarks, you can give the remarks. The mode is add, so while applying it will add a new record. And if you want to, you can select the photo also. Select the photo is loaded on the image box, and the name is loaded at the label. So this name will be loaded, saved into the database while applying the apply button. Just give apply button. So the registration details are added successfully, and you can check the record by search button. Go to search field A. So the records are opened here. The Kumar, it is the details are loaded here. So that's all for this video, and the student list that is in the crystal code format, that will be covered in the next video. Till then, have a nice day. Goodbye.